Morning. Once again, we are here for the lecture of business letters. As we have discussed the point of positive approach little bit in the last lecture, and now we are going to discuss this point one more time in a precise manner. So, friends, as we know that whenever we write a letter, or especially business letters, we need to have a positive approach because any sort of negative approach will damage the image of organization of the business or the business. So it is necessary to have positive approach with the writer of the business letter. So every business letter writer has to keep positive approach in the mind while writing business letters. So this one is an example that I want to give you. When you want to write a business letter, you should be very positive about the whatever you want to write in the business letter. If you make yourself a little bit negative, then that can be reflected in the business letter. So first thing that every business writer has to accept, has to keep in the mind before writing business letter, that is positive approach. And if you go with positive approach, automatically things will be done in a positive manner. So this is what it is must, it is necessary to have positive approach while writing business letter, and that is must also. So what are the things that we can talk about positive approach? Those I have noted down here, so I will discuss all those things one by one. So starting with the first one, that is avoid words with negative connotations. So here, when we go for writing words, basically when we start with a letter, so try to avoid negative words which will reflect the negative impact or negative image of the business organization. So as a writer, you people have to avoid such kind of word. Do not include these words in your business letter, and if you use, definitely it will create some bad impact in the mind of reader. So that sort of precaution should be taken by the reader, and that is expected. Then frame your message with words which will not hurt or offend your readers. So one more thing that we need to take care while using words, because reader is going to read your letter and receiver is going to read your letter. So you people have to take care, do not hurt anyone else through your words. If you are using words which will hurt others or which will offend others, those are not expected here. So always start with some good words, always start some pleasant words in the business letter, so that they can get pleasure of your message, and that is expected here. Then replace unpleasant words with mild terms or expressions. No doubt we have to use some unpleasant words in the business letters, because sometimes we should be very much strictly, or we should be sometimes very much strict about the, or sometimes we are in the mode of taking action through letters. So in that case also try to replace some words for unpleasant words. Try to go for some sort of expressions which will not show that you are not happy with the action of the reader. So that sort of taken precaution should be taken place. Then emphasize the positive side of your message. So whatever message you want to give, that message should be focused, that message should be trust in the business letter. So that is expected. Whatever positive side of your letter is, that should be emphasized and all, that is expected. Then trace what is or what will be, rather than what is not and what will not be. So instead of talking about, you should not be like that. So whatever you are going to show, that whatever you are there, that should be written in the words from your side, instead of talking about other things which are not expected, which are not there in the reader's quality. So that should be avoided. Whatever you expect, that should be written in the letter. So this is the positive side. Other points are also there for this positive side, and that we are discussing here. Tell what you have done or what you can do, instead of what you haven't done or what you cannot do. So instead of talking about what you guys have not done, what you cannot do, or so many things are there. So we are not here to talk about negative approach. Whatever you have done, whatever you can do, instead of not doing anything else, those should be communicated, those should be informed, those should be easily talked in the business letter, and that is expected. So if you write letter this way, definitely that will be the letter which is having positive approach, and that we can easily pass this message to the reader. So this is what, whenever you are there to write a business letter as a writer, you should be very much positive. Your approach should be positive, and if you go with positive approach, automatically things will be done in a positive manner. So this is the point of positive approach which we guys have done, and I ask you guys to, whenever you want to write a business letter, you should have to follow this positive approach, so that you can make some things positive in the business organization. Then here is something, a sort of difference between a negative approach and positive approach. So if you want to if you want to say something about or if you want to write some words for negative sentence and positive sentence they have given, I will talk about positive sentence first. So instead of getting goods back from the what do we say, instead of asking them to return damaged goods or change damaged goods, we can say you make exchange the purchased goods provided they are in good condition. So we can asking, suppose such kind of thing that happened, whatever goods we have sent to the customer or sent to the person or sent to the dealer, and those are damaged. So if he is asking something about it, so instead of using any negative words like we never change damaged goods. So if it is a policy of the business organization, we can convey this message in a different way. So what we can convey, if goods are not damaged, then you can, or if goods are in good condition, those goods you can exchange. So what we are going to say indirectly here, the goods which is damaged, we cannot exchange that goods. So this is a way to convey the same message. So we can convey this message by using some positive words also use instead of negative word. So this one is the difference. So instead of saying directly no, we can say in a different manner, and whenever we say like that, it becomes positive approach. It's very simple. Then we are going to talk about two more concepts here, and these two more concepts are very much important while writing business letters, because we always talk about courtesy and consideration. So what is courtesy and what is consideration, that I am going to tell you. As far as courtesy is concerned, as we guys have talked about, courtesy is nothing but what humbleness, politeness that we write in business letter, and that is reflected while reading the letter by the reader. So what is courtesy, that I'm going to tell you. Being polite means earning respect and sustaining your relationship with your readers. Why a writer should be courteous, that I'm going to tell you. If you are a courteous, automatically you gain some respect from the other side, and it is also important to create or sustain your relationship with the readers. So mostly in business organization, what is expected, what is the most important part that I'm going to tell you. In business organization, relationship with the reader, relationship with the customer is very important. If you want to sustain that relationship, you should have to gain some respect from the reader. And when it can be gained, it can be gained when you are polite, when you are humble, when you are courteous, and in that case that is possible. A rude and short letter should not be retailed with an equivalently and vehemently rude reply. So rude reply is not expected. By the way, if you write a rude reply, automatically your image of the organization will be damaged, and people don't get don't show respect to you and your organization. So this is the only message that we can give through this courtesy. Courtesy is nothing but what, gaining the respect of your uh, your customer or your dealer. At the same time, this politeness or courtesy is important to sustain the relationship with the reader. While writing a letter, we should be in a cool, favorable, and reasonable frame of mind. So that is expected. So whenever we want to go for this, we need to take care of something. So while writing this, we should have to be very conscious about favorable and reasonable frame of the mind. And if you follow that, that can be called as consideration and all. So this is the concept of courtesy and consideration which we have seen so far. Moving on to the next one, here we have given some examples of consideration and courtesy. So two things I have given here, and those two things are original aspect of courtesy as well as a revised aspect of courtesy. Your indifferent attitude has caused a great loss. Instead of saying this, we can say in a different manner. Had you been a bit more careful, we would have avoided this 20% loss. So this one is the way of writing in an official manner. Instead of directly blaming that person, we can blame in a different manner so that he cannot be hurt. So we are here to take care of one thing, that is we are not here to hurt someone else. If you want to hurt, that can be in a very mild manner. So this is a way that can be covered under the concept of courtesy and consideration. Moving to the next one, that is certain phrases which expresses courtesy and consideration. I have here I have given some phrases that we can use for the purpose of courtesy and consideration, and it can be reflected through these sentences. And what are those? One by one I will read and I will explain also. Many thanks for your letter dated. So this one is a way to show your courtesy, how you are courteous about that particular reader or that particular person. That can be reflected through this letter. Similarly, we can also use some certain sentences and that shows how you are courteous and consider others' feelings. Kindly respond to your request for, please refer to our order dated. You will be pleased to know that we appreciate your prompt response to our organization. We are sorry that we may not be able to grant you. So these are the way to say no. These are the way to say, or these are the way to communicate that we want to say. So this way, if we write something in the business letter, automatically we can maintain that courtesy and the sort of consideration for the reader. And if we write like this, automatically reader will be happy and he or she will also appreciate our courtesy as well as consideration through our letters. Then when we want to go for like this, so certain things we need to avoid, and those can be called as artificial expressions or angry expressions. Sometimes we also get angry and we also try to show how courteous and consider others feelings through our artificial feelings and all. So in business letter, try to avoid artificial and angry expressions. And what are they? That I'm going to tell you through some examples. Please permit to say that, we beg to state that, never has there been nor there will be a customer as good as you. I simply cannot understand your negligence. We have no intention of allowing this state of affairs to continue. So these are the words which shows that how artificial you are. And these sometimes when we get angry and we try to write sentence like this, I simply cannot understand your negligence. If you say like that, you are directly blaming to the customer for his mistake. So instead of blaming him directly, we can also blame him indirectly by using angry, or by avoiding angry expressions. So whenever you want to write business letters, try to avoid angry expressions as well as try to avoid some artificial expressions, which will directly shows that how diplomatic you are, how artificial you are. So that should be avoided clearly. And if you avoid, automatically it will create good impact in the mind of reader. Then after this, we are going to talk about the concept of format of business letters. There are different formats of business letters. One by one we are going to discuss. Before this, I think you guys have seen all the basic aspects of business letters, and this format of business letter is a little bit technical and having some sort of technical knowledge. So before going for this, I end my video here, and I'm going to focus on this format of business letter in next video. So till then, be there, and if you have any doubt, please ask me your doubt through this online mode. Till then, thank you very much and see you in the next video.